That a wild girl met her in Puerto Rico. She falls in love with the fan of the richest person there. She felt that the business was also going on in a wrong way. Could she save her love along with that place? Today we will see Dharma Guy Darshan 11, a romantic comedy Hollywood movie. If you like the video then please like and comment. Now without any delay let's start this mission. He is a habitual and our main character Paul is seen in a very good hotel. Here he was joining a new job. He had drunk too much. He made the whole room fashionable. The waiter believed him. He did not even remember that he had ordered from the waiter. The whole room was lying upside down in the cabinet. He tells the waiter that now I want to close the setting. So before going to the job, he was setting again. The time of 1968 was not so much developed here. The chapter was of 1968. Big businessmen were going to bring a lot of business here, but the people here do not like it. They protested outside the paper office. He was given a job interview. His boss's name was not Aman. He was wearing 4.5-inch sunglasses because of his body parts last night. He said that there are already a lot of rich people here. I do not want to hire a man of color again. I will have to control my drinking. He saw this debt, but he understood that everyone has written lies in it. Amar asked if he had gone to political no ball. He leans on the side that looks good. He looks good in his hands, and he is hired. People here refused to mess with him because a general school teacher had killed him. Paul started working and went to meet Sanderson. He was a very rich businessman. He said that I have seen your writing, you type very well. I will talk to him later. Paul's father, who works in a newspaper, is a friend of Paul's and men take drinks. He told Paul that you were here anyway. He was going to get that answer because we don't have many employees. We see a lot of colors in this work. Mubarak said that he also works in our newspaper. Whatever is wrong in this industry, it represents everything. After this, Paul's private party was going on in his hotel and he was not alarmed. He took out a small port and went for voting. He went swimming and bumped into a very beautiful girl. There is a main character of ours. His name is not Pollution. He said, "What are you doing here?" She was from the channel. Some polling parties were to be kept away from understanding. My boyfriend was going to give a speech, which I had heard many times. He reached Delhi and after making up he started leaving from there. Paul says, "Tell me your name," Shravan says. "If I don't tell you my name then you will always remember me." Paul says to himself that you were very good before I met him and how will I be able to live without him? Paul is sent to this town to take Boring Central. He wrote about the valley whose title was that what I don't like about the reporter. Lawton, I said that you cannot write Star Medical. We are sending a dream to the people here. You will have to write all the good things ahead. Lawton, I had given him the bottle. I saw the hotel bill and it showed that Paul had drunk 11,061 bottles in a week. He knows that now you should take care of your living yourself. He returned with a Rang Mobile and started asking for money. Because of this he gets disturbed. He called Paul to the office and said that you will have to study this newspaper properly. I will promote him quickly so that I can handle him. He promoted him immediately. He said that I am at the airport. Paul is coming to bring his interview. Paul waited for a long time and the flight was getting delayed or Sanderson met Suno. He said that if Raj is not coming then he should come to his house with him. He said that a lot of money can be made in the place and from real estate because he is very less. He comes home and introduces Paul to the city. And the old people knew each other. This doubt went to Sanderson. Some local people were seeing this from the corner of the beach. Anderson does not like this. Because the whole beach has been bought by him. Sanction says that you do it very well. I also need a lighter here. A lot of money can be made and we both can go very far together. We are going to talk about this in activities and Paul wanted a house to live so it is announced with you if it is very strange and the goat wants to watch TV. Then when the video of the network opens then watch TV with binoculars. Different things are seen. There was a fight and a peacock had come to the house and when it came, what should be done with it? Bao says that we will make it fight and show it soft. What fight? Badham and Ka won about Lokpal and they got some profit, but the next rooster was a very tough fighter, so due to this they leave the house with them. He used to stay at home on the morgue also, but he used to come home once a week when his liquor would finish. He has installed a filter to make his own liquor and makes very good quality liquor. Paul does not like it. He takes it in his wires and makes it fire and shows it. He calls back at night to meet Aman, Sanderson, who is also active. He wants to write an article about it. Lauder, I said that you can't do all this. Newspapers run because of advertising and if we start writing against the businessman, your newspaper will be distributed. Paul has the potential and here the first news is going to be published. Next day he comes to Hussein's house again. Chanel and Sanderson were nowhere to be seen. When he saw them through binoculars, he found them near the port. After coming back, He got a hint that there is a very important meeting tonight. After the party, we will all discuss something. Some local people were watching them talking. Sanderson gets angry and insults them and drives them away from there. In the party, Chanel comes and sits next to Paul. She says that the slides you made for me every day are very beautiful. Paul says that I didn't think that you would notice me. Chanel says that I will notice phimosis. I liked it. This businessman sits and talks with Paul. Sanders says whatever business we're going to develop now, we will go to some hotels here and will also take care of them. At this time, we need the public in our hands. If we have any complaint, we will write a letter in which we will tell that we are going to increase it from 10%. People will protest again, and after talking to people, we will finalize 5%. But we were going to fix it at 5%. Paul says that doing all this is very wrong. He explained to him that there is nothing right or wrong here. Everyone will benefit a lot from this. Baba went to take Paul and told the channel people to stay at night. Paul was going to meet at midnight. He had to go with him. It was very cold and they both kept roaming around for 1.5 hours. They could not find a way to go home. They saw the signboard and he said that we will go there and eat food. There is nothing to eat and Lucky tells the waiter that you had said that food will be available here till midnight so you can get me food from anywhere. He was very disrespectful and he talks with his eyes, tries to make him understand and you also abuse him. Then he tells all this to some local people. Paul notices that those people were Sanders who had infiltrated him today and they know Paul, now they were coming to kill him to take revenge, then he quickly sits in the car and goes ahead. After some time some cars started chasing them. Those people had knives, swords, everything and were going to kill him. He tried a lot to run away but those people surrounded him. Paul takes Baba's liquor and makes salwar but the police caught him because due to their noise the police also reached there. Everyone is arrested. The people here are very different, their code was running even at night. Looking at the charges, they were going to be jailed for 3 to 4 years, but to save them, Sanderson reached there and quickly got them put in jail. He had brought a very good plan and got them out of jail. Paul said that he would always be a great fool in this fort. Sanderson says that tomorrow we have a meeting, come here. Now Paul will have to work for him even if he doesn't want to. The next morning there was a big hangover and a chance so he should go quickly and bring my car, otherwise people would take out all the parts etc. They reached near the car but the local people had already taken out the seats, so some of them drive away in this way. The police saw them in the city. To escape from them, they put it anywhere and they met with an accident at this place. Even after all this, Paul came to the meeting. After the plan was finalized, Sanderson asked if he could get some advance. Now he had to give me a place to stay. And I don't even have a car. Chanel is seen falling from very nice cars. Chandrashankar was the one who gave her a place to stay. He said, help me, bring Chanel here. Chanel was getting ready for you by dancing. She invites Paul for this. He says, what about Hussein in the car? Do you know how fast this car can go? I have planted a tree on you. We will drive this car very fast and the one who shouts first will sit and lose. And for this, Mang or Coffee was driving normally but Chanel forcefully made him drive very close to her. Then the relationship ended directly. At first, he shouted. They both had come close to each other. Purple went away from him. While returning, he got very angry that they were roaming around and he was not paying any attention to the paper. And then he again makes an excuse that he is going to cover the festival. He went to see the side of the place where the hotels were going to be built and then he came to join the party. Paul went to the boat and brought it to the boat. Sanderson sees that Paul has brought it with him. He gets very angry at him. He says that you cannot keep any cigarettes or anything. You should not have done this. After some time, Paul became very calm on the boat and he comes and sits near him and asks, what are you thinking? Paul says that he is trying to write a lot but my own boys are not understanding me. When we were having dinner at night, the problem was not going away. So Paul says that I also want to go there. Sanderson's plan is revealed but he also has to go. In the club, Sonal starts dancing with another man. That man starts removing his clothes and a very good dance is seen with her on the channel. Chandy tried to throw Chanel out, but despite the club, the gang members stop her and throw her out. Paul also could not go inside. It is very strange for him. In the morning, he wonders if Chanel will be with Anderson. He asks her loudly that Sanderson had gone to his house. In the middle of his voice note, Paul gets angry and takes away the money of the car. He says that he will not work with him. Paul has to take money for the money again. Mubarak had brought different types of medicines which will show different things to him. They take it and wait for it to happen. After some time, he started getting better and he went out. Paul did not talk to Chanel as if he was talking to him. He told him that we will ruin everything, and if Anderson's plan actually succeeds, then the natural beauty of this place will be lost. To stop this, Chanel starts writing an article. The next day, Chanel comes to him and supports him. Paul went to Anderson and brought some clothes. Paul was very angry with him. Paul promised to expose all these things. Sanders took out the money that Paul had kept for the wedding. Now an arrest warrant was issued against him. When Chanel was living with him, one day they got intimate. Everyone found out that the newspaper had become a mess. He had already run away with everything. All this was not happening. The entire staff was sitting idle and Paul said that we will have to strike. Paul said that we do not have any money so that we can do something with the money. We will forcefully enter the factory, and when Chanel was at home, she left after keeping a dealer for him. She said that I'm not going anymore. If you want, you can come. Paul decided that first he will mix everyone with him. Later they did not have money to print and a hen comes. They decide that they will make the hens fight. Their peacock should not lose, so they go to a place of growth. We will cut it to see if it ever loses or not. They take the hen to a lady and by doing strange things she makes it more angry that the hen never loses every time. Then they bring it to the father-in-law. The hen was not losing any fight. They need a judge, but he is a little away from them. He is in the factory, but there was no one there. He says that already the police took all our stuff. Now he could not do anything to print it. Who says, can you do something to me? This is his smile voicemail of corruption, but with this we can eradicate this corruption, and it had become mixed in his life. The police were after him, so he cannot escape from the airport. Paul decided that he will run away from there after taking Sanderson's vote, and he does the same. After that, Paul went to New York and met her. He got married to her. He made a very big channel list and exposed many corruptions. The movie ends with this.